I'm just riding around. I got a lot of work to do.
Would you stop?
Hey, that's my scooter.
Oh, yeah, it's a real nice unagi.
Oh, you like it?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, I think we should probably get back to work.
Get back to work.
Oh, all right, sorry. I probably should have asked before I rode it around.
Thank you.
Sorry about that. Came in this morning and we are hammered. There are cars from all over the country. We are packed with cars. I may actually look into buying one of those unagi scooters so I can ride back and forth and get updates and get these things out of here. Man, this place is... Anyways, let's take a look at all these sweet cars. So this one is a 2012 Audi Q5. It just came in. It feels like it's shuddering when they accelerate. This is actually one we put a turbo on not too long ago. And it's reached the age where it's time for coils and plugs. Check this out, guys. Here's our normal plug. You can see the nice little arch on top. Here's cylinder number 4. It's literally melted off. It's so old and worn out. So this one will get all 4 coils and all 4 plugs. The reason being that we know Volkswagen Audi coils don't last very long. When one goes, the next are right behind it. So there's really nothing major with this car. This one will be here and gone pretty quick. But let's go take a look at this really sweet Lexus. This one's from Oklahoma, Mrs. Wizard.
Hey, that's where we keep our boat.
Yes, that's where our yacht is currently moored, I guess you could call it. This is a 2003 Lexus SC430. It's just here for some major updates. The guy took it in, I guess, as payment for a debt, and now he owns the car. It has 60-some thousand miles on it. He doesn't even know if the timing belt or anything has been done. Let's go ahead and move up to the engine bay.
Wizard, that's an interesting addition to the pulley system there.
Yes, actually a very dangerous addition. One of the techs must have left that on there, and I will get on to him and say, no, 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 we don't leave ratchets on the crank main pulley bolt. That's how you do destroy all kinds of bad things. Anyways, we did take a look at the timing belts on this one, and they are original from 2003. Like I mentioned, only has 60-some thousand miles. The customer is like, I don't know anything about the maintenance history, I just want it checked over. There is a few small other things, some weather stripping and just basically a check over, but definitely it's time for a water pump timing belt on this car. Let's move on to the next one. Guess where this one's from, Mrs. Wizard?
Vermont.
How did you know?
I saw the license tag earlier.
Yes, it's from Vermont, guys. All the way halfway across the country. This customer actually went to California to buy this 320 diesel Mercedes, the E320, and was going to drive it all the way home to Vermont, which was going to be a fun little drive. His name is Kevin. Obviously, he's from Vermont. And he made it all the way to Wyoming. And a major snowstorm hit, and then he started having issues with the car. He doesn't know if it got gelled up or if there's other issues going on. And he said, you know what? I'm just going to fly home, and I'll have this car shipped to the Car Wizard. It's not too far away, comparatively so, and just have the whole car looked over. He says there's a smell of antifreeze and also a smell of diesel in the cab, or cabin, I should say. Has cold weather starting issues. It was 20 degrees and it would not start. They had some other issues going on as well with charging system. And he just liked the car checked over. Some of the things I'm thinking of is the diesel fuel might have just gelled. He got some diesel fuel in California or Nevada or something, but by the time he made it to Wyoming where it was really cold, they didn't have winter fuel in the car and it gelled up. There could also be issues with the injection system, like a leak, and it got cold and the O-ring shrunk and then it started really leaking. Antifreeze, it could be anything. It could be water pump. It could be a whole slew of things. A hose, who knows. Charging system, it may be that his battery or his alternator were kind of marginally keeping up. And then he hit the snowstorm in Wyoming and it just went ahead and took it under, whatever that being, the alternator or the battery. But we're going to have to dig in and find out exactly what happened. Also do an inspection of the vehicle. This will definitely be one that we film. We're giving you guys a quick rundown of all these cars that just came in like boom, like a big pile of cars. We're going to be doing videos on them, obviously, and telling you guys why they're here and where they came from. This is crazy, isn't it, Mrs. Wizard?
It is very bizarre.
Let's open the hood. It looks fairly tidy under here. Of course, the engine cover's hiding most of it. It looks fairly clean. I would take these covers off, but it's multiple bolts to get to, and don't want to take all that time just to take a cover off. We're definitely going to take this all apart. I'll have one of the guys in the shop look it over. We'll be looking for the, like I mentioned, the antifreeze leak and a diesel fuel leak. I think once we find our diesel fuel leak, we may find the problem of what he's having with cold start problems or just starting problems in general. So this one's all the way from Texas, and you guys know that I love Range Rovers. I really love Range Rovers. It has some suspension issues. There's a warning light on the dash. They want a full inspection and a few other issues, and we're happy to take care of that for them. And Texas is not all that far away compared to some of the others. But let's go ahead and take a look under the hood of this one. So here's the engine bay on the 2012 Range Rover. So what we thought was an issue with air suspension is not air suspension at all. It's with the active dampening system. That's what the codes we found were. And it's one of these actuators that sit on top. What we've done is we swapped one side to the other, and then we're going to drive it here in a little bit and see if the problem moves to that side. If it does, then it's just an actuator. There'd be some shops that say one of these is bad, so you get to buy both of them. But that's not what we're going to do here. We're going to find out which one is bad and replace just that one. Get this person back on the road. We're also going to do an inspection. These Range Rovers are known for coolant leaks. We're going to make sure there's no coolant leaks going on or oil leaks, anything like that. We'll do a thorough investigation and inspection of the air suspension just to be sure there's no issues there. Go to full extension, full compression of the suspension system and make sure it's good to go. This one is nice, it's in very good shape. They just want to fix the few things that it has and get it up to that next level. On to the next. So here we have the gold Jaguar S Type. No, not the one you just saw. Well, it's the same owner, not the same car. This is a 2003. This one does not have the 3-liter. This has the V8. This one has also some misfire and some other issues going on. Let me grab the page real quick. He says it started misfiring about a week ago. 3 of the cylinders are misfiring. It typically runs very smooth. Notice some oil on the garage floor. Change the fuel filter. There's some tire issues and also an inspection. You guys saw the video we did recently on the 01 S Type with the V6. It had been to a previous shop to have a lot of work done. Some of it they say they did and they didn't actually do. And they left their ball joint dangerously loose. The customer actually came to pick up that car. They're very happy, everything's doing well. But they told me some of the rest of the story with that car, and it's disheartening. It's really sad. Again, I'm not going to mention a name, but they did say it was a certified dealership to work on these cars. But he said he took it to them numerous times to have the alignment fixed, and it would just be off again. And also some of the other issues they were having. And finally, this shop fired the customer. They told him, we don't know what's wrong with your car. It might be the wind blowing. Maybe it's making the wind. The wind, that's when you start to get insulted as a customer. It's like, you must think I'm an idiot. No, the guy's not an idiot. He's a very nice gentleman. I enjoy doing business with him. And they told him, don't come back. It's like, wait a minute, I paid you to fix my car. Something fishy is going on here. You didn't fix my car. Now you're telling me not to come back? That's kind of like some of the situations you hear about with relationship problems when they try to make the other person be on the defense. when really the problem is right here. Obviously, he's chosen never to return there. With the situations he had with the '01 Jag, he's like, yeah, I could take it back there and make it right. He's like, I'm never going back there again. In fact, they told me not to come back again. He said, so I won't. And that was just really disheartening to hear that. You rip someone off, then you tell them not to come back. What kind of world are we living in? But since we did such a good job on that one, he said, hey, I have another one. And here we have a V8 S Type in '03. We're going to check the coils and plugs and make sure it's not time for those. It may very be likely a time for a set of those. We'll check the oil leak and see what's going on there. We'll do an inspection. We'll check his tires. And we'll get this one as well properly fixed the first time. And it won't take 6 months. And we're also not going to leave his ball joint loose. So there's another Jag behind this one. And you're not going to believe. This one's going to be wacko crazy. You're definitely going to watch this video when we do a full video on it. Let's head on over. This is a 2014 Jaguar F Type. No, I didn't say S Type, I said F Type. It is very nice. It is in good condition. Let me grab the paper here. This comes from a guy named Christopher from Louisiana. So we got Louisiana, Vermont, Oklahoma, Texas, all kinds of cars from out of state this week. The original engine on this car, he says, suffered from stuck injectors, which just melted the engine down. It ruined it. There was a local shop that specialized in foreign cars. He had them put a new engine in January of 2020. But it made issues worse. There's a whole lot of other slew of issues. It doesn't drive right. There's warning lights, and for some reason, they won't come clean. He said he's had severe trouble trying to find someone who's a good mechanic to work on his Jag. As you can see, it's beautiful. He's like, I just want to get this thing right, and no amount of money. I've gone here, and I've gone there, and I've gone to this place, and a dealership. And my car is still not right to this day. So they either make the issues worse, they don't even want to work on it. Even the local Jag dealer will not work on my car. That's not shocking that the dealer won't work on it, especially when another mechanic has put a new engine in. The dealer doesn't want to be liable for what the last mechanic did or didn't do. But I don't see it that way as a liability issue. Obviously, if we find problems here, we're going to know it came from this last shop. The engine replacement was done poorly, resulting the engine light is still on. Numerous issues. There's missing bolts, there's squeaking pulleys, there's missing parts, etc. This sounds like a nightmare, guys.
And you took it on.
Well, I like to try to help people. Where else is he going to go? As he stated here in the paperwork, he's been everywhere in his local area to make his Jag run again. Put out who knows how much money. And he's at a brick wall. He's up against a wall. Let's open the hood and take a look. So this is a V6 engine, and right off the top, just taking a quick look at it, obviously I don't see anything wrong. Let's see if we can take this cover off. Everything does look fairly new. I don't know if the engine's brand new or not. We'll have to take a look. I see a vacuum leak right there. So there's a nipple there with no hose hooked up. That would definitely cause a check engine light. These things, they weren't even tightened down for the engine cover. They're just kind of barely screwed on.
Yeah, there's one here too.
Yep. Here's a clamp that's right here. And you can see the indentation where it should be. It's just, they put the hose on and didn't even put the clamp on.
Isn't that a coolant clamp?
Yeah, it looks like a heater hose clamp.
Oh my gosh.
That could have blown off and had coolant everywhere. It's lucky it didn't blow off on him. I'm sure if we keep looking, guys, we could spend an hour and just come up with a whole list of things. I've done this enough times that when I start seeing these clamps and bolts and things loose like that, you're only seeing the surface of what's really going on underneath and all around. We're going to have to do a thorough, long, entailed inspection that will cost time. This is not going to be a $65 inspection. This is going to be where we go through and check all the bolts, check the belts, hoses, connectors, wiring, scan for codes. This is going to be a lengthy process. So where we would start on this car is scan for codes, and then we would put it on the lift and just get a clipboard and have either Daniel or Magic Mike, Danielson I guess we call him. He's going to have to actually start from the actual nose of the vehicle and work all the way back. You guys know from the Jaguar video that I did on the 01, not the 03 that's over here. Whenever I see a paper that says the last mechanic put this and this and this on, that's where my bullseye is, exactly where that last mechanic was, because there you're going to find problems. You say, well, the mechanic already put that part on, so we don't have to worry about that. Wrong. Just like we saw on the 2001 Jag. That's exactly what you need to worry about. So they replaced the engine. Did they do a short block or a long block? A complete engine with all accessories? We don't know. He mentioned squeaking belts, very likely. Some of the accessories aren't fully seated or fully bolted on. The real focus is going to be the engine bay. We're going to have to basically start at the radiator and go all the way back to the transmission. And you don't know when they pull the engine, they could have yanked the transmission and pulled a wire. So this is going to be very thorough. Looking at the scan tool, looking at the codes, is going to give you an idea of some things that may not have been hooked up. Sensors that could have been broken. That'll give you some places to really start looking. You see cam sensor problem, you say, oh, well, definitely, and look at that and find out it's missing or broken or who knows what. It could be that it's just not plugged in. We find it, oh, there it is, and plug it in and clear the code and it's happy. Most shops would not take this job on. Just like he mentioned, several shops in his area are like, hell no, bro, we don't want that car. Finally, who is going to fix it? What does he do? Just take it to the scrap yard and scrap it? Somebody has to fix this car. I suppose that will be Omega Auto Clinic. Is it going to be fun? Probably not. The car itself will be fun to work on, but going through behind other people's headaches is never very fun, especially when you see things like the hose clamp. It's not even put on. It's like, come on. Oh, and by the way, the Rolls Royce is done. We did a video on it just recently. We're just waiting for it to get picked up. But as you can see, we have our work cut out for us. We actually had one of my local customers contact me and say, hey, I got a small problem. Can I get my car in this week? And I'm like, nope. No, we are jam-packed full. I've got 4 mechanics on staff, and it's going to be all 4 of them, including probably me, 5, going full bore to get all this stuff done. Maybe I need to find that Unagi scooter or wherever it went so I can get back and forth. And this shop's big enough. And just to think, guys, I was told in the beginning, you're an idiot for buying a shop this big. I don't think so. So if you're curious what kind of tools we're going to use for all these cars, to fix all these cars, check my Amazon affiliates link in the description below. We'll get a small cut and we really appreciate it. And obviously, there's going to be really sweet videos coming along the way. Make sure to hit the subscribe button if you want to keep up. You do not want to miss out on this. There's going to be things that we find that's going to be shocking. Thanks for watching.